Alright, let's do this again one last time. Plot summary. Charlie Brown is feeling a little bit frustrated. The holidays are here and he wants to be having a good time, but he just can't get into the mood. There's something about Christmas that he dislikes, far from it, but there's something about how commercial the whole thing has become that he feels like distracts from the broader meaning of what Christmas should be, whatever that might be. Charlie finally puts the pieces together when his friend Linus reminds him of the religious origins of Christmas. This finally puts a pep in his step, and he resolves to enjoy Christmas as best as he can, and is soon joined by the rest of the kids in his town when they all sing Hark the Herald Angel Sings, and credits roll. End of summary. So this review is going to be a collab with my Twitter buddy Arkentel. Me and this guy go way back. We've been friends for close to a decade, I think. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on the film, and then let him give you his thoughts. And then we'll just call it a day. So, what are my thoughts on the short? It's a nice time. No real thoughts beyond that, I'm afraid. It's just a pleasant viewing experience. The voice acting is pretty good for kids in 1965. The animation is pretty good for a TV short film from 1965. And the actual story is pretty nice. Being frustrated with how centered on selfish desires Christmas has become, and deciding to just have Christmas centered on the reason for the season, though that might not go over so well if you're not religious, in which case, I don't know, there's lots of other stuff you can watch between Thanksgiving and Christmas Day, so go watch that. Anyway, let's hear your thoughts, Ark.
Hey, well, I don't really have a solidified name right now, but by the time this goes out, I'll probably be going by Master Mastermind. So, that's my name for right now, Master Mastermind. So, I was kindly asked to contribute to this wonderful video series that Woodstock Pro has going on right now. And I definitely treasure any opportunity to speak on the great Christmas specials that continue to still be a part of us as we've gotten older and even as we try to reconcile our growing understanding of this holiday. So, in terms of media depictions of the institution of Christmas that have themselves become institutions, I will admit the one that still means the most to me will always be 1965's Charles Joel's A Charlie Brown Christmas. Now, my continued love for this special is really no secret to friends of mine, as I remain fascinated not only with the special itself, but also its very odd production history. So to those who don't know, it's the 1960s, the Peanuts comic strips are all the rage, and a documentary filmmaker by the name of Lee Mendelsohn has just made a documentary on the life of Peanuts creator Charles Joels called A Boy Named Charlie Brown. It's a lovely documentary where you get to see the man himself speak very fondly of what goes into making this beloved comic strip, as well as speaking on his own life and background. Wonderful documentary that absolutely nobody was interested in buying. So it ended up being shelved for quite some time. However, in spite of the apathy towards the documentary itself, they were interested in possibly a Christmas special with Charles Joels, produced by Lee Mendelsohn. And that's where we get into this whole thing. Now, Lee Mendelsohn knew nothing about making a Christmas special, and outside of working on the strip, Charles Joel's own experience in animation was actually quite small, which would propose a problem. But thankfully, they also had the assistance of a Mr. Bill Melendez, a former Disney animator who also did work with the legendary UPA animation studio. Bill Melendez had already had a history with Joels, as even before the existence of A Charlie Brown Christmas, the characters had already been shown on TV through various commercials animated by Melendez himself. So naturally, he was the perfect fit to bring into this team, and very much the reason why the 6-month production time of this special, which every animator in the world will let you know it's a miracle that anything resembling a competent special was created, yet alone something now considered a masterpiece was created in that short a time. But on we go to the special itself, and it's very simple but very notable plot. So everyone knows the plot. Christmas time is near, the man himself is feeling down in the glooms, and oh wow, a Christmas play, and other hijinks that end up following within the special. Even through hijinks and character meanderings, the world Joel's created always feels respected, much thanks due to certain production decisions such as the insistence from all three men that the characters be voiced by actual children. A decision that was completely uncommon in animation around that time, and yet one that would not only add to the multiple unique factors of the special, but would also become a practice that all successive projects based off the comic strips would follow. And when one speaks on the unique factors of the special, of course its soundtrack has to be mentioned, composed by the legendary Vince Guaraldi, who at the time was already coming off winning a Grammy for Cast Your Fate to the Wind. Now, the decision to hire Vince to do the soundtrack was honestly more a product of Lee Mendelsohn than Stoles. Stoles wasn't a huge jazz fan. Musically, his taste was very much in line with Schroeder. And yet it goes without question the massive weight that Guaraldi's composition brings to this special, at times being just as instrumental as the animation itself in capturing these characters that had only existed prior in newspapers. Perhaps the biggest sign of validation to Mendelssohn's decision to hire Guaraldi was while listening to Guaraldi's compositions, he was struck by one particular number, a number that he liked so much that he thought, hey, what if we shortened this song? Maybe added some lyrics. Perhaps got a children's choir to sing it, kinda like a carol. So convinced in this idea, and not having enough money to hire an actual songwriter, Mendelssohn would pencil down what would end up becoming the lyrics to Christmas Time is Here. Of course, you can't really speak on the unique qualities of this special and not obviously mention the emotional climax of Linus reciting the Annunciation of the Shepherds, while framed in this special as the true meaning of Christmas, does provide a very insightful lesson. There is more to value in this time of year than material posturing. A lesson that is thankfully as timeless as the special that preaches it. And unsurprisingly, these same unique factors were also the reason why the channel broadcasting the special, CBS, was convinced that they had a bomb on their hands. CBS's low confidence towards the special being further complemented by Lee Mendelsohn's incredibly low spirit towards the finished product, which, while completed successfully, was still very noticeably a product of its 6-month production time. In short, nobody was expecting this special to have a life past its December 1965 premiere, but 58 years later, we can see how that turned out. We take all that aside, its odd production history, its continued love and evaluation over the years, what really makes this special work? And it's really just a simple fact that, as previously mentioned, it really is the best depiction of the world that Charles Jones created. But the accomplishment lies not only in how well it captures that world, but also in how it elevates it. From Bill Melendez using his experience as an animator for UPA to bring a stylistic simplicity that beautifully complemented a strip that was no stranger to simplicity itself. Being able to utilize the same artistic standpoints that he had cultivated in his time with UPA to bring Strauss's characters to a new dimension, or the elevation that comes courtesy of Vince Guaraldi's score, which, in spite of Strauss's own apathy towards the genre, still ended up being the sound that best suited these characters and all of their idiosyncrasies. Of course, one can't speak on the elevation of this material without speaking on the man himself, who, in allowing his creation to become a collaboration, was so adamant that the sophistication that he had brought to these characters remain, which is why you have him to thank for other unorthodox decisions for a Christmas special, such as no laugh track and the much beloved emotional climax with Linus. As someone who's read compilation book after compilation book of these strips, and consequently seen various specials, movies, and even the TV series from the 80s, it's still amazing how arguably the closest that ever really came to an adaptation of this world that could be considered a Citizen Kane for everyone attached was also the same one that in 1965 no one had a reason to think would exist beyond its premiere date. Shout out to Christmas Miracles.
Final thoughts. A Charlie Brown Christmas is a genuine Christmas classic, and there's not much else to say. You put it on, and you feel happy. It's a cute little short. It's funny, it's sweet, it's endearing, and that's all you really need. I'm going to give A Charlie Brown Christmas a 3.5 out of 5. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, like this video and subscribe to my channel. Do you like A Charlie Brown Christmas? Do you hate it? Comment below and tell me what you thought. And also, an extra thank you to you if you're watching this so soon after the holidays. I wrote this on New Year's Day 2024, and I'm recording this on January 3rd, 2024. So if you're even bothering with this video right now in the first week of January, I really appreciate it, and I'm sure Arkantel does too. If you want to keep living that Christmas cheer, I've got a playlist full of reviews for Christmas movies, linked in the annotations and down below in the description. But if you're ready to move on for the holidays, I've got reviews up for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series and plenty of comic book movies too for you to watch. So check all of those out, and stay tuned for my Best of 2023 video coming out real soon. Have a great day, everyone. Woodstock, out.